anywhere. But why did those movies not make as much money as, say, a Halloween or a Scream or Scream 2?
I mean, they made a lot of money, especially for a horror movie. They just didn't compare to the phenoms that you're bringing up, and that's just it. It's that your Scream and your Halloween, they were lightning in a bottle phenoms. And while I'd like to say that Nightmare on Elm Street on paper is that as well, whether marketing or realization or on screen or the way that the world reacted to it in the moment instead of later, maybe it just kept it from happening. Maybe the world literally wasn't ready in 1984 for Freddy. Maybe the world wasn't ready in 1987 for Welcome to Primetime Bitch, even though they loved the movie and it did well, right? Maybe they still weren't quite enough of us weren't ready. Maybe it's something, something demographic, something sociological in the undertow that we're missing that keeps it from getting there. I don't know. And maybe also, though, it's just that when Freddy came out, he was a great, brilliant, different kind of slasher, but we had already been introduced to several others. Yeah. And when Scream came out, sure, we had plenty of slashers, but what we did not have was many smartly, very thoughtfully written scripts, really smart, and a meta movie on top of that. So, I think that's what separates our Halloween and our Scream from our Nightmare on Elm Street, as wonderful an idea as I think it is, as deep an idea as I think it is. At that point, it's just another movie with a great idea. I don't mean to say just another movie, but it's when we're talking about this explosion in the box office and the world is just agog by it. And I think it pushes some people away, that child molesting, that these parents killed this thing. I think we're questioning our grips on normalcy and even our fantasies to veer from normalcy with some of these concepts that are brought up in this movie. A dude watches his girlfriend get cut up all over the wall in a brilliant spinning cube of a room set. And
on a budget too, which blows my mind.
Right. Yeah. And then he goes to jail for it. And then it looks like he killed himself when Freddy killed him. Like, that's mean. I don't think the world was good at the cult groups were good at loving that, but I don't think the public was. And I think that's where the box office drain was beating the box office game.
Probably nothing in Halloween was as mean. We're rhyming a lot. Was as mean as that scene. And then Scream, I mean,
the dream. I'd say drain and gain.
And then Scream, I mean, the beginning's mean, but the rest of it is more kind of meta and almost Paul Verhoeven-esque, where you can be a fan of horror and like it. You can be a fan of meta and like it. There's something for everybody. But with Freddy, like you said, the death along the room, right? The geyser of blood, the maybe occult type viewpoints. Maybe that was easier to rally against for people.
A lot of Christianity, A lot of Christianity pops up.
What do you think about Like, why? I know it's just I think it's an interesting question, right? I just, like you said, John, those two hit the zeitgeist and they exploded. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street hit the zeitgeist for sure. But they didn't explode. So, like, what do you think?
Well, and the thing about it is, Freddy is pretty much unavoidable. So, with Jason, if you leave Camp Crystal Lake, you're good. Mm-hmm. Michael Myers, I mean, I guess he would walk across the country to find you.
Or drive.
Whatever. He's or drive. Yeah, he's a mute, and he doesn't seem like the sharpest machete in the tool shed. See how I did that there? But Freddy's in your dreams, man. Yeah. There's not a person on this planet that hasn't had a horrific nightmare. So you get this dream demon who is invincible, and even though the rules kind of change a little bit in every film, so okay, if we bury him this time and put some holy water on him, that will get rid of him. Nope. Now it's to the point where if you think about this guy, he's going to come back in your dreams and murder you eventually once he gets strong enough. There's nothing you can do about that. The reason why Alien used to freak me out is because we get to the point where, okay, if you had a gun, right, you think you could kill him. But now you come to find out when Vasquez is in that little, in the air duct shooting the alien with the handgun, the bullets are just bouncing off. So you can't even shoot these things with just normal weapons. So Freddy might have been a little bit too much for people to handle. Me, I was so jaded in the 80s because I just grew up watching a bunch of horror movies. Freddy always made me laugh. Freddy never scared me. But for a lot of other people, something that comes in your dreams and kills you in your dream, that's a lot to deal with, man. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, it plays well on childhood fears a little more than most of our slashers do too. We have the screeching sound of the blades, which just recoils many people. The boiler room, well, kids don't get that, but what kids get are creepy basements. Growing up in the 80s or 70s, you have a basement, maybe the light, you have to take 2 steps in to get to it. It's a little unnerving. Most of the unless you had money in the family or something, or you got lucky, your basement wasn't finished. There was always something a little off about it. It would pick up some water when it rained. There would always be cave crickets or some shit down there, or like those centipedes, those northeastern centipedes that look like skeleton ghost centipedes. They're terrifying. But it's like the basement was a scary place, and the basement was also something that was used in a lot of horror movies. And even though here it's never the basement, it is every bit as fantastically horrifying.
Yeah.
It's a man in the shadows. It's in part 1, like you're a kid and you first develop your sense of a social life, and you're getting home just after dark and you see someone at the end of the alley. I grew up in the Northeast. There were a lot of alleys. I know, like down here in Florida, there aren't as many alleys unless you're in one of the cities. But like you see a dark figure in the alley, and at first you always would stop. And your notion was, are they coming towards me or moving away from me? Because you wanted to know right away. And so Freddy in the alley, and then he just starts running at you. Like that's all of our horrors. If you grew up in a metropolis, I was in the Northeast. Whenever someone's walking behind you in a city, you can be a grown-ass adult and a big dude. You get a little nervous. You pick up your pace. You deliberately slow down a lot so that they have to catch. You do something. And the first movie especially set the tone so well for that. Andy has a hat just to make seeing the glimmer of a face that you could or couldn't recognize that much harder under a street light. It was such beautiful mood setting. Again, the zeitgeist is there. Just other concepts in this web, I think, alienated too many whole thought processes, too many groups of people. Beautiful movies, really. They're kind of mean, but they're beautiful movies.
What got me about Freddy was Robert Englund. He's a live man. He's a petite man, right? I'm not saying that's not an insult, but when you think about Jason, right? When you think about Pumpkinhead, when you think about Mike Myers, these are not slight, petite, thin men. Like, so when you see Freddy, he's just skinny, and you think you probably could head and arm him, but like he has that magic and that cruelty. So you have this creature that's wiry and he's murdering you. It's almost a different reaction, I guess, than just a large lumbering immortal. I mean, I guess he is immortal, but when Robert Englund, who's slight, does that, I wonder if that sort of messes with your psyche a little bit.
Well, that's the thing, man. They spend part 3, 4, and 5 literally doing dream hand-to-hand combat with Freddy Krueger, punching him in the face, spinning bird kicks from Street Fighter. Why? The dude's in your dream. You think that's air you're breathing? That's literally the truth. It's a dream, man.
You're Morpheus.
She lands 25 punches on him in the final fight, and nothing. Yeah.
Why am I punching a dream in the face? I mean, how do I think this is going to do anything? It's almost as futile as Jason Takes Manhattan dude, the brother who's just like, yeah, I'm going to throw hands with Voorhees. You're punching a zombie in the hockey mask, dude. What are you talking about? So, yeah, the concept that this little burnt dude is going to just do me damage, it's ridiculous until he does. Because he realizes, oh, by the way, you're afraid of snakes. And, oh, look, that's a snake coming out of your CD Walkman. And it's going to murder you. This is that era. You know what I'm saying? Your tape deck, you thought you liked music, but now the headphone has turned into a giant snake hose. And, oh, look, it's inside your pancreas. And, I'm eating your soul, Rick, you little meatball.
You listen to a White Snake cassette, and you go to flip it around, and you pop open your cassette player.
It's an actual White actual White Snake.
Takes your eyeball out.
Yeah, who's that? Freddy goes big. He goes straight for the ridiculous pun. He doesn't care. And then the pun murders you, Part 6, suddenly he puts the kid in the video game. The glove is now
glove.
A power glove. Now you're playing with power. High score. It's so ridiculous, man. No, I'm not going to let this little mushroom murder me. And then he does. Yeah.
I love it. Hey, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will talk more Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I know John has a quick point for us, but before we do, we're going to do something really interesting. We're going to do a draft between you and Norbert, John. And you can go to Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook to vote on this. What we're going to do is you can draft from 5 franchises. Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Scream, and Leprechaun. 5 movies. You can only pick one from each franchise.
We each pick one movie per franchise.
But you got to be smart with this, because who knows what movies people are going to pick. So this one gets a little gnarly. But you can only pick one from each franchise, and I'm taking the first movie out of each one. No part ones.
Okay.
Because let's prevent ringers. Let's have some fun.
Sure.
So no part ones. Those 5 franchises, and you have to pick one from each. So let's see. I have 1 or 2, Norbert. 1 or 2.
1 or 2.
We'll just say pick. I have I either have 1 or 2 fingers up. So pick.
Okay. 2.
You get first pick.
Haha, getting jiggy with it. Nah. All right, cool. Okay.
If you don't fear us,
we're
don't
choosing
come
from
near
French.
us. Oh, Men in Black. My bad.
That's right. I'm sorry.
That was on my 90s Sirius channel the other day, and I was jamming out to Men in Black in my truck.
The good guy.
Remember
see
that.
what you've done to me. Damn it. Okay. I am going to choose Friday the 13th, Part 10, Jason X, because I love
All right,
that.
Jason X.
I love that movie.
This sucks.
That would have been mine.
I love it. Yeah, it sucks.
He's screwed.
What is that? What is that? Jason effing Voorhees. Yeah.
He's screwed.
It's awesome.
I'm taking Dream Warriors.
Ooh, all right.
Mint. Okay, so 1 from each franchise, right? Okay. I am going to go...
This is fun. I like hearing these picks.
I am going to go Scream 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That would have been my first pick.
I'm doing H2O.
Oh, I love H2O. And we're doing an episode about that coming up. I can't wait. 80 minutes of pure gold. All right, H2O.
Nice.
All right.
Nice. Okay, continuing my theme here, I'm going Leprechaun 4, In Space.
Okay.
Oh, man, that death.
I believe Leprechaun 3 was the one that went to Vegas. Okay, I'm taking Leprechaun 3 because the potential of worldwide catastrophe was in that movie and only that movie. Because when he bit a dude, the dude started to turn into a were-leprechaun, and they did not explore, and he was getting a little twitchy. Like, what if some people on the street were like, oh my God, you need help, and he bites somebody's arm? You could have had Were-Leprechaun-Ageddon in Las Vegas with people flying home to other continents and metropolises. That could have been the Leprechaun's biggest possible win of all Leprechaun movies. So I'm saying Leprechaun 3.
Oh, exactly. Leprechaun pandemic in the building. Okay.
Leprechaun-ademic. St. Patrick Demic.
Oh, hey.
I love it.
This is the sound of my applause. Well played. Well played.
All right, so you're up, Norbert.
All right, so I got a Jason, I got a Leprechaun, I got a Scream, and then you said Halloween, right?
Halloween or Nose.
Leprechaun 2 was good, though, because that was one where he was looking for a bride. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, and they put him in a safe.
Well, Leprechaun 4, I mean, he's trying to bag alien princesses, so...
That was cool, too. And then he had that spider monster guy that was made. He emerged from someone's penis.
Yeah, always
was that one?
And he smushes a guy's head.
Do you think that what was it? Prometheus stole
100%.
from Leprechaun 4?
Totally.
With the wispy fungal spore getting to the guy when he was taking a leak in the beginning?
Why would you put that past Ridley Scott to just be like, I'm going to watch the Leprechaun series and steal some ideas? All right, let's see. Halloween. You already took H2O.
That's my favorite one of them all.
It's literally the one that's awesome. There's one that's coming out soon. I'm going to take Season